to Haunted Stories and Investigations. We are here tonight having a little look at somewhere that's quite close to where we live in the area we know, excuse me, what hiccups. We're here in Darwen, so in Lancashire, so we're going to have a little look. There is a cemetery through these woods. We've walked the dog here, Ziggy Pooch has been here before, and we thought, it's only two of us tonight, we'll go and see if there is anything in this cemetery. So let's just have a look. It's in the middle of a town, and we've never really done this before, never been here much, so we're going to explore, so come with us. So we don't know very much about the history of this place. Somewhere new to it.
It's very dark.
It's very dark. The shoe's still there.
The shoe. The mystery shoe.
We found the shoe.
The mystery starts with the shoe.
Random.
Shoe. Shit. What's that?
I don't know.
It's got chins. There's a pipe down there, isn't there?
There is, and maybe locking up the park.
I probably won't put the torch on for attention.
I'm just trying to see how we get across to the...
I don't know whether we're better walking up to the top. You can walk up to the top and go in the entrance, can't you?
I thought it was literally just over there.
It is, it's over that wall over there. You want to go that way?
Yeah. That's how we walk at the top. So I can see where we're
I've got the work path is that the main path there? Much graves here. Graves everywhere. See. What's on that path? See. The moon glowing. It's really quite secluded, isn't it?
Yeah. We can obviously hear the traffic. There's some traffic light.
I've never been in this cemetery, so I don't know where it comes out and where it comes in. All I know is the main road's down that way, behind us.
I don't want to lose track of where we came in.
Turn left at Bob's grave. If all else fails, we can just go down to the main road and walk back up.
True, that's true.
Or probably better coming out the top and walking down the hill.
Let's risk some light and have a sneak at how old some of these are. James.
How old is that?
Doesn't say.
1923. 15th,
Oh, yes, there we are.
1923.
46, that's no age, is it? Just getting my bearings.
The footsteps behind us then.
Oh, I did.
I thought it was you, but then I realised how close to the side of me you were. There's literally scraping the feet right behind us. I half expected to see there was one behind us. But there's, as you can see, there's absolutely no one here. It just sounded like someone's feet like scraping across the ground. Look at that gravestone over there, flat. Well, not flat, but tilted right over.
It's not the most kept. Although clearly there are people here that...
I bothered.
1944.
It's funny how there's like graves going right into the trees as well, like they just...
Yeah, but there's like graves within graves as well.
I suppose it'd be... That one had ashes on the end, didn't it? Like a little... ashes on top of the grave. There's someone else up there because it's a torchlight. You hear someone whistling.
I think someone whistling. Whistling.
It's definite whistling. If someone's just going for a stroll in the dark and whistling, there's something weird's going on. Why would you be walking in the dark whistling? Is that a normal behaviour in Darwin? Let's go for a stroll in the dark and whistle. Can't see much on this camera with night vision when it's, when it's so far away. It picks up when we're closer to the graves, but it'd be better trying to find like a spot to stand and get on camera kind of thing. Once I think we're at the... Well, there's got to be a tight pressure in my head. I don't know if that's because we've walked up the hill. Although there's children graves over there.
There is.
Look at them.
Oh. Just like collapsed.
This is so old, they just fallen to bits. Yeah, because if you look down there, it goes down to the main road.
Got a really bad head.
My head's gone really tight.
I think we're more or less.
If you look how far up it comes from down there though, it's a big graveyard.
Quite a... This seems to be quite a central...
Well, my head feels really tight here.
It has dropped from 15 to 9 degrees.
We're going to go up here to the right, or do we want to go up there and come back on ourselves after?
I think we're quite central here. Just to see if there is anything. If we stay in one place, let them get used to us. I think
I kind of wanted to see how big the place is, though, get an idea of how big it is. I'll just walk along here and then we can always come back to this spot. I think we'd be better a bit off the main path. Just to get away from the noise. We're quite away, further over here we go, the further away we are from main road and traffic.
true.
Try and get as quiet a spot as possible. There's loads, it goes right up there to the trees. I'm really short of breath now.
1876.
They're really old, aren't they?
Seems to be getting even older.
I've gone really,
1852.
really cold chill as well. I've gone from being really warm to being really cold.
Dropped. Look, there's somewhere we can go.
So guys, we're here. Just
If we head down there, look, there's a
having a
bench.
walk round, trying to find our bearings. There's
I
a
found
bench.
a bench.
There's a bench down here, so we're gonna have a sit on this bench for a little while, or as long as we can without getting absolutely freezing cold. So we'll just have a wander down here. It's a bigger graveyard than what I was expecting. I honestly thought it was just like a little field when we popped through the trees last time I were here.
Huge.
We'll,
Here doing Arthur.
don't want to go too far down the hill because we'll have to come back up it.
No, I'm literally going here. Going to here. We will join wherever these lovely people are. Who are we joining?
What's that on that hedge? Are they graves?
More graves. They look like Commonwealth soldiers' graves.
I'm gonna say they're just like food something. So yeah, we just walked round. We've come across a width of the graveyard and just found the bench. Vicky's just having a look at the I'm assuming the like war memorial plaques.
The soldiers.
Soldiers. So we'll sit here. Have a little sit here and just get a feel for the place and see if we can pick up on anything or anything picks up on us. So I might just set this camera up on the tripod, put it in front of us. That way we can multitask.
The perils of not having the cameraman with us.
Yeah. Just let me get my legs open. Oh, there's a noise. Got that on camera. Right. My legs extended. Tighten them up. We happen to multitask, we happen to be tech and medium to I was just setting the camera up, got it all nice and tripod all set up, and then the battery decided to go. So we're back now, fresh battery. We're just sat. We've come across the width of the cemetery. Got quite a tight feeling in my head, and then Vicky felt the same as we came across the top path. So we've just sat down. We've just come a little bit down the hill. So we've just sat down, we've just come a little bit down the hill at the far end. There was a bit of a weird noise of someone whistling as we was walking around the other side, whether that was just someone walking past having a nice evening stroll.
We don't want to go too much further down because there is a residential area, and obviously it's quite near a road, so we don't want to get the traffic noise.
It's quite quiet here. It's away from the road. It's quite late on in the evening now, so the traffic's not that bad anyway. But it is quite a busy. Ironically, it's the A666 road as well. That runs through Darwen and goes over to Bolton, so it's quite a notorious, particularly bad road for crashes and people overtaking, because it's a long stretch of road that goes from Darwen to Bolton, and it is renowned for a lot of traffic collisions and fatalities over the years.
Just a quick update on the atmosphere. It was 15 degrees Celsius when we got out of the car. It's now reading 9, so obviously there has been a temperature drop, which is why both of us are feeling cold. And the milligauss meter has gone from all zeros across to 0.1. Whether that's anything or just a change in elevation because we've come down the hill a little bit. I don't know.
We'll just sit here, see if it happens, if we get any feeling. Sometimes the best thing to do in places like this, especially such a big cemetery, is let spirits come to you as opposed to going to them, because you tend to find if you settle yourself down in the middle of it and wait long enough, they will approach you, because a lot of spirits are just as curious as what we are when we're alive. We're curious when we're alive, so we're still curious when we're dead. So we'll be drawing a bit of attention because there's no one else here, so that'll draw hopefully energy towards us, and we'll see what happens. Do you want to put powerless on my phone?
Yeah, well, I've got my hands full, so you put it on yours.
I'll just put Perilous up on my phone, so you'll hear that set up in a minute. So I've got my phone on airplane mode, so it won't interfere with any EMF readings.
Mine is off fully.
So really the aim of tonight is to
what's that down there?
really do what, did you see something?
No, what, is that somebody driving in or pulling up?
Someone driving up, I think. There's definitely a car there.
Yeah.
I wonder if they like lock the main gates or something.
Maybe. Locked in a cemetery, aren't they?
They're locking the main gates, guys.
Actually are.
They are locking the gates. Do you think we need to go out?
I don't know if they'll lock that gate up there.
Which gate?
Where we came in.
No.
ITC Legion. Scanning.
There's a car coming up there a bit. He's coming on that road. Exciting times, guys.
There's probably a few gates. You've got to go around locking them all. So we're currently being locked in the cemetery.
Unclear.
Unclear.
Drop down another debris, not pointing.
Probably comes in, locks that one, then goes around, locks that one, and goes out, I'd imagine. As you come up the other side.
That's how it is, isn't it?
It's just whether we does a round to check if there's anyone in.
One thing with exploring, guys, we learnt this very early on. Top tip, always film your way in and your way out, because that way if you do get stopped, you have evidence that you've not broken or vandalised anything, and you can prove what you're doing. So always, even if Jenny. So even if you don't necessarily use it, you can have that proof and evidence available to you. Top tip.
There were no gates on the entrance where we came in anyway.
No.
It was a gateway, but there was no actual physical gate on it.
No.
Well, I don't get why lock the gate coming in there when you can just...
Probably to stop cars.
I suppose.
They're not going to want like boy racers ragging round on cars, are they?
The grave robbers coming in with the pickup trucks.
Or people coming and nicking things off the graves. It's a sad fact that there are some horrible people out there that do that. I can't think of anything more disrespectful, to be honest. People's last bed, it can be respected. I think he's just driven across and gone out of the other gate.
We've got...
I can't see his fucking light.
I can see headlights going across there at the bottom, straight in front of you.
90.
90.
90. Jenny, 90.
So if there is anybody here that would like to come and talk to us, We are here with respect and wishing only peace. We don't mean any harm. We want to give you the chance to pass on any messages, to tell your story. If you have something you need to say, it could just be a very long time since you've spoken to anyone. Or if you feel like we're intruding, come and let us know.
You nutter.
Nutter.
Did it just say you nutter?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose to some people I am. But
So just to let any spirits around that can hear us, just to let you know, the app in my phone is a word bank. You can select words and you can talk to us through this. The device in Vicky's hand will pick up an electrical magnetic field. It's an EMF device. So if you come close and you've got energy, which obviously spirits do have, that'll trigger and we'll be able to know you're around. Feel free to approach us, talk to us, visibly show yourself. It'd be fantastic.
show us with spirit light, energy if you can.
We don't mean any harm, we don't mean any disrespect, we're just here to talk to you and communicate.
What did it say?
Taste. I don't know about going as far as tasting you, but there's certain limits as to how we can interact. Tasting doesn't tend to be one of them. Although smells can be quite a common aromas. As we're coming around the top, mine and Vicky's heads went very tight, so a sudden increase in pressure can be a sign of not necessarily good energy, but it can be a sign of energy.
But so can elevation. For those out there that debunk and are sceptical, coming up and down hills can cause the same pressure. We had just come up a mild hill. It's not a huge Ben Nevis, but
Because we're
Upon.
upon.
up on a hill. We are up on a hill.
We kind of drove up alongside, up the side of the graveyard and came straight across as opposed to walking up from the main road, because it's a bit of a hill from the bottom, as you can probably see just down there. I don't know
Unit.
how well it'll pick up on the camera, but down there is where the main road is. It's a bit of a way down, probably about 500-600 yards. And we're just perched here. So that's on a little bench. And whilst we've been sat here, we've been locked in. Someone's come in the car, put the chain across, so the main gates are now locked. Even though we know we can still get out, it's
We know there's not going to be any passing traffic, at least.
I suppose it would be classed as a cemetery lock-in. We're having a lock-in
Minute.
with lots of spirits. You managed to get the sound back on that?
Interest.
Interest? No, I can't get the sound
I'm
on.
sure you hold two buttons together. You press down two buttons at the same time or something like that, I'm sure. Not really. Just for the camera, we're using Carl's newer EMF reader that he got, because we don't appear to have brought the K2 meter with us, unfortunately, so we're using this one, and unfortunately,
Hell.
neither me or Vicky are very familiar with it, so we're just trying to work out how to, there is a bleeping noise it makes when it picks up. Something just hit in front then. Something literally hit on the floor there. I just saw like a flash of light, I just heard it go boop. I don't know if it were a bug or something just flying past and scooped down.
Moth.
Just said hell.
Hell. Oh dear.
It's not ideal when you hear the word hell and then there's a foot on the floor. Especially when you're sat in the middle of a cemetery, it's not a particular word you want coming up too often. But like with anything, you take the good with the bad. We don't necessarily always get good contact with good spirits. Sometimes we do get nasty ones. Gender.
Are you male or female? You can tell us through the app. It's weird that Milligauss reading has now gone back down to 0.0.
We didn't put the sound on.
I can't work out how to do it. No idea.
It's just holding one of the buttons.
Well, that does the light. That changes what you...
Measurement.
That changes degrees and Fahrenheit. And that turns it on and off.
There's no other buttons on the back or the side or anything. It's the torch.
Should have read the instruction manual. I'm sure he said it was like 2 buttons.
I thought it was like the top, the 2 bottom ones or something like that together.
Harvest.
Harvest. So we don't want to wander too far down the hill because we don't want to have to be trekking back up. It is getting darker and darker. The car at the bottom's now gone, so they have locked the main gates down at the bottom. So we'll just stay up here out of the out of the way in the quiet.
Volume's on.
Volume's now on the EMF.
Managed it.
Whoa,
chilly wind.
That was a very cold breeze that just went past.
I've got a pain in the right side of my head.
Machine.
Do you hear that?
Yeah. Someone walking down that side.
The actual people.
There's someone walking a dog.
I would say it's gone up to 0.4.
It's a coincidence.
I'm curious. Hi.
Machine.
It's actually gone up to 0.4.
Wet.
Went. Suppose it was a place that people will walk through with the dogs and stuff. Again. Another battery just gone. Batteries aren't lasting very long now. Whether that's because of things around us draining the battery, or the batteries are on the way out. It's hard to tell. But normally the batteries last about half an hour each, and
not even lasting 10 minutes.
Lasting about 10-15 minutes at the minute, and we've only got 2 batteries left. So we've just had the word upon for the second time.
0.3.
EMF readings going up.
So this, unlike the K2 meter, doesn't flash different lights. It will make a loud noise if something gets close enough, much like a REM pod. But it gives you the actual reading in milligauss. And it's gone from being a straight 0.0 to 0.3.
Way. It's like way. Dude. It's a very clear night. The stars are all out. We've had a couple, last few days have been very miserable and very rainy. But it's Easter weekend this weekend coming up, and it's supposed to be the start of nicer weather. It could well be an area, like it's just said on the parallels.
Well, the forecast was saying sunny for the weekend, and it did come up just as we were coming here with rain now.
So hopefully we're going to get nicer weather for the weekend. Got a couple of car boots to do. So hopefully we'll get some nice weather.
We're coming into nice weather.
Pass.
Pass. Oh,
Something just passed.
what was that?
A very loud bang.
I hope the camera picked that up.
It's a very loud bang. Is it not a car door? Can't see a car light.
Well, there's no cars down there.
It kind of sounded like a slam of a car door, unless it were one of them houses at the bottom.
Yeah, maybe a house door.
Definitely a door shutting of
There's a
some
bang.
sort.
Some kind of bang.
Magnet.
Magnet.
This is kind of magnetic if you can come towards it, the little tiny light.
Can you tell us your name? Can you come forwards and give us a name on the parallels? Let us know what to call you.
Used.
Used. Does that mean we've used your name?
Is it Jenny?
We've got the name Jenny before, is that correct? Can you give us an indication of whether this is Jenny we're talking to? I keep hearing footsteps and like someone running round. You know what it sounds
I could hear
like?
like chatting, but
See, I keep hearing footsteps, but it's more like marching. So it's in beat.
here we are next.
It's like coming down here, like, because I heard it, and then when I looked up and saw that black block, it made me jump, because I was like, that's way too good to be an apparition, how clear that is. And then it was a chap walking past with a dog. Or at least we think it was.
We both saw it, and you said good evening.
Definitely said good evening, you'll be able to hear it on the camera. We didn't necessarily
Oh, I can hear an owl.
show him on the camera, because the camera's pointing towards us as he walked past the back of the camera.
Yeah, I can hear an owl. Definitely an owl hooting.
Definite owl. There's someone else over there as well, that sounds of it. I heard someone talk then.
Quill.
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 Did you hear someone talk over there?
Well, that's what I thought I could hear earlier. Someone chatting. Yeah.
Six.
There's owls knocking about now. We can hear people in the distance, but there is, over the far end where we came into the cemetery, there is a park where it sounded like when we came in there was some people hanging about on there, some kids or something. So it could just be we could maybe just be able to hear them walking away from the park if they've closed the park up, so I'm assuming if they've closed the cemetery up they'll have closed the park as well. Although it feels quite peaceful here, it doesn't quite feel right. It
No,
feels like there is something.
Thomas.
Thomas.
If that's your name, Thomas. We'd love to talk to you. Come forward and let us know that you're here.
Still reading 0.03.
Yeah.
0.3.
Come and reach out to us.
Someone talking over there.
No, it's definitely someone driving. Walking up the middle path.
Walking up. We want to move somewhere else, have a wander.
I'm just wondering about wandering back along that top slowly
Third.
Yeah,
while we've still got battery.
that's what I'm kind of thinking as well, the split battery situation.
Going back to 0.0. How strange.
Gone down as soon as we walked away from the bench.
As soon as we've walked down, it beeped and it's come back to 0.0.
It's been on 0.3 all that time.
Yeah.
It went up to 0.4 at one point, didn't it?
So it can't be phones. Mine's off.
Mine's on airplane mode.
Yours is on airplane mode. Just going to wander back.
It's more... This investigation is more of a pre-investigation than anything else. It's just a case of we wanted to come and have a... We've seen it during the day, had a quick peep. We didn't actually come in here, we just looked from over the wall.
We had the dog with us and we didn't want the dog running everywhere.
So we decided to come back at night, have a wander around, see what it's like, and maybe come back with Carl. Which will be easiest while filming, as opposed to having to juggle the camera. Where's that path go? Does it just go up and round there? Number 3.
Number 3.
Excuse me. So yeah, it's more of a come and get a feel for the place and see whether it's worth coming back. It's just a case of trying these places sometimes. Sometimes we can come and feel and get absolutely nothing, and then other times we think we've got nothing, go back home and look at the footage and see we've actually got something.
I've got a shiver right up my back.
Bet.
Stereotypical, but it was literally like someone just ran their finger up my spine.
There is noises, like, you can say I keep thinking I hear someone walk up the path and stuff. You hear someone walking on the path in front of you, but then you're looking ahead and there's no one there. What? 7, number 7.
Number 7, it keeps giving noises.
Very old graves. Couple that we've looked at are like 1920s.
There's some even older ones, it was 1853 that
Why is it here? I can hear water.
because we're near the water in the woods.
Oh, there's like a little pond
There's
there,
a
just up
reservoir,
it one.
well, not a reservoir, like a lake thing.
A little. I thought I could definitely hear woods. I was like, is it woods or can I just hear like white noise buzzing?
Yeah, 1927. Ooh, that shines bright. It's just on its own, I don't even... Can't see what that says. I don't want to walk on the person. 1920.
Colour. That just clicked though.
It's green. Hannah Green. 1883
This grey's clicking.
to 1920. This one.
I'm getting clicking from round here.
Edmund and Edith.
That's lovely. Someone's put a bag of dog poo on the side of the grave.
That's absolutely horrible. Ugh.
Some people have no respect. Although
like
some
the
people
fact we
don't
got-
respect the living, never mind the dead.
We got colour just as we're in front of a Hannah Green.
Hannah Green.
Yeah, that's her name on the grave.
I don't know if I can zoom in and get the name or not.
Can walk up next to it, there's nobody here. There's a bin there on a special plinth. If you walk up next to it, you might be able to...
Wait.
Yes, we are right next to a bin. Hannah Green.
Yep. It's getting it so it's showing on the camera.
Just show that because the barrel has just said waste. We are
it
literally
just said.
next to a bin.
Seeker.
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 We are seeking.
Word looking for Evidence. Hope.
Oh, I just got a pull on my pocket.
Uh-oh. We're looking for hope that there is indeed
Intermittent.
Intermittent.
intermittent something afterwards.
This has definitely become a lot more active while we've been here,
Yeah.
in this area.
Well, we're right bang in the middle here.
That tree gives me a weird feeling.
Sure it's not the bat box. What? Oh, it is there. Oh, I'm sure I saw a bat box. Ooh.
I literally walking away from it and I got a tug on my leg. Like someone put their hand in my pocket and pulled.
Did it give an age on there? 18.
I don't know, I'll just put the camera so it could see.
1883 to
Wanted.
1920, so it's like 38.
Wanted. Oh, I just got a smell. Like oranges.
Oranges.
Citrus. I just got a dark shoulder go behind back of me. A dark shadow just went round back of me. Literally walked round back of my shoulder as I was looking. It was like someone walked past us on that path.
Indirect.
Indirect. Things are definitely getting more active here. Ooh, some... Before you shone your torch across, the white mist went right across the camera. Like literally on this path. I suppose this is a T-junction as well.
Yeah.
It's a crossroads in a cemetery.
Probably.
For anyone who's not familiar, crossroads are normally active places. A lot of crossroads on highways in places like America and stuff are renowned for being where you can find lost souls trying to find direction and the way to the other side. A crossroad is quite a...
Crossroads are also places, obviously, where people would believe that you could summon a demon to make a trade or a deal. They buried witches and criminals at them so that they couldn't find their way back to torment
Afterlife.
the village. Yes, that's exactly what we're looking for, the afterlife.
Just got just for camera so you can see. Afterlife. Rolling again. So on the final battery, yet again the battery went very quickly.
So I think we need to... It's
So
weird that's gone up to 0.8 now.
it's gone up to 0.8.
It dropped off, when we stood in the middle, it dropped all the way down to like 6 degrees. And now it's gone back up to 8. How can it suddenly go 2 degrees colder and then warmer again? The wind's not changed. I think this would be a hot spot to come back with.
I'm trying to hold everything. Got no arms left. That's why I had it on the tripod.
Give me the tripod.
I put it on the tripod, I can just hold it on it then.
So
I've
I've got it.
So we're on the final battery. We're just going to slowly head back to the car before the battery runs out because it's already going down. But yeah, note to selves, this crossroad bit is quite active. There definitely seems to have been an increase in activity whilst we've been near this crossroads.
These are all sunk.
They've sunk right down. Ian.
Betsy, Nellie and Bessie. Nancy.
Daffodils coming up through the graves. So there is like a bit of a woodland walk alongside the cemetery at the other side. Number. So where we came through from the side road, cut through the trees, like through the woodland path, and then just over a small, literally step up wall into the cemetery.
Oh, when it to say it's a wall, it's more
Yeah.
little drinking
So we're just gonna wander back down here towards where we came in, and as we go out, we'll go out through the woods. Definitely interesting. There's definitely
I've got the torch on just to watch my pussy.
definitely a sense of energy. Oh, bless you. Definitely something firing up. There's like mists of white going past the camera every so often. I'm not sure if it's our breath. Yeah, it is.
It is.
It's when I hold the...
We haven't got the vape machine here tonight.
Third. It's one of them places where you're walking around and you just feel like someone's walking up behind you.
There's quite a lot of that.
Although it doesn't necessarily feel spooky or creepy or anything like that.
It feels quite peaceful.
It feels peaceful, but at the same time you get the feeling of being watched and followed. Horses. I did hear, like I said, I thought it was someone like marching, but it could have been galloping, it could have been horses. I suppose if this cemetery's been here a long time, horses would have originally brought the coffins through. So horses may well have come up and down here. Is that the path?
Now we have to go past the bin.
Past the bin. Past the bin.
We can go this way.
I was going to say it did fork off, it went two different.
Go this way. There's a little path. Still kind of bad, but
Good. See, that one looks really new.
2009.
You what?
2009.
It looks really new, that, for 2009, but I suppose it's marble, isn't it? Quantum.
There's another one there, look there, we can barely see that one. Right, it's very... There's one here. This is a grave. Can't actually see that
It's
one.
just a mound of grass that's grown over it.
There's some that are so old you can't see, and others that are very recent.
I suppose some will still have relatives that come and maintain them and others won't.
Oh heck. Don't know.
So yeah, this is the wall.
And if somebody that's barely 5 foot can step down it, it's not really a wall.
And then we've come out into, it's literally a path that runs up the side.
Well, this is the woody bit, but if
We're just in the woods here, but we'll come out onto the main path, and it's just a path basically running up the side of the cemetery. There's a bit of a
Ooh, we got a reading. 0.1.
jar.
It's just gone literally up to 0.1 as we come down there.
Ooh,
Oh
excuse me.
dear.
We're definitely getting some noises tonight.
I think most of them might be J-made.
It's all this healthy eating. Preparation for summer holidays. Trying to eat healthy, having salads.
You've had one salad.
So, if you see me next time and I look like I've lost 14 stone,
In a day.
it's that one salad I had on Tuesday. All big adventures all start with small steps.
I do. Everyone has to start somewhere. Okay.
My name's Jeff.
Jeff.
Jen.
Jen.
Uh,
Jen again.
Jen again.
Was in Jenny.
Well, it said Jenny the first time, this time it's just said Jen. So we got
Yeah, so we shall finish it here in the dark, dark woods.
in the dark woods, we'll
Underneath
just
the
have
moon.
a pan round, not that you can see bugger all, or can just make out the trees there. But yeah, it's basically just a path going straight up the middle there, and woods at either side, quest. And over there you can just see, well, can't really see, but the gates over there where we came in.
Okay, so thank you for joining us. Sorry it's been short and sweet, but we are down to the very last of the batteries. Hopefully you'll see us back here with Tech Guy and crew, see what they make of it. Enjoy this little Wednesday wander out, just to see what we can find. We shall see you next time. If you do see anything that we haven't spotted, pop it in the comments underneath. We do try and read all the comments. If you have a haunting and would like us to have a look at somewhere, drop us an email on hauntedstories81@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, various TikToks, Instagram, all the social medias. Thank you so much for watching and joining us. Stay safe out there. Happy hunting.
Mary.
Mary.
Let's film the way out just in case. Let's going up onto the grass there.
Man, the daffodil's already kicked all them, look.
Just film going out, just fit. Battery's gonna go soon anyway. Turn this off.
Scanning stopped.
Okay.
Right, so.
The shoe. Whose shoe is that? Can't just say shoe to the shoe.
There is a gate on it, you can't really look it. Just a...
Not that they'd keep anyone out, you can just step over that. There's a little gateway, there's all these little, a lot of the parks around here have these little gateways going in, and they have numbers on. Each one tends to have a plaque on of some sort telling you who opened it and what it represents.